Okay, so let's go ahead and come on to the back. And we'll start, as we often do there, with a little bit of mindfulness. You could think of mindfulness as just the willingness to let go of the need for anything to be any different than it is in this moment. So just notice if you're like, it's too hot, or Doug is taking too long to start the class, or I wish I didn't have this project to do after the class today. Whatever form that resistance might take, I'd like you to try and identify that. And can you just be here now without the need to want to be someplace else or want this moment to show up differently than it is? I know this might sound strange, but that is a skill that you can learn. That is a skill that we practice in yoga. And another word for it is presence. Okay, we'll begin to deepen our breathing. So inhale, fill first the belly, then the ribs, and then the upper chest. And as you exhale, you'll reverse that. That, of course, is Dirga. Now, we would like to add in the Ujjayi sound, which will slow the breath even more. And I'd like you to really listen to the sound. See if you can make that sound, see if you can refine it, make it a pleasant, relaxing sound. So many people find the sound of the ocean relaxing. So see if you can make it sound like ocean waves. Maybe even picture that in your mind as you breathe in and out and you hear that sound. So when you're hearing that sound, you're just associating it with the ocean waves, that relaxation. You're just sitting there on the beach, you're watching the ocean, you're calm, you're relaxed. Now the key is to keep doing that throughout the class. It's easy enough to do it here laying on our back, but let's see if we can carry that through. And what that does is it requires a certain amount of mindfulness, because once we get going and we begin doing something more challenging, very often the first thing to go will be our breath. We'll just forget to breathe, the way that I taught, and we'll just start hyperventilating or breathing deeply in and out through the mouth. And these are all things that, again, we can train. It's okay if you do them, but it's through repetition, over time, slowly, we begin to retrain the way we react to physical stress, emotional stress, mental stress. All right, we'll start today with a cat tail because we want to open up the front of the thighs. So let's inhale the left leg up and exhale, just drop it over. It could be straight or bent. Prop your head up and then move the bottom leg back. And then what I'd like you to do is just bend this knee, reach back, grab that foot. And we'll try and take about 3 to 5 slow, deep breaths here, just opening up the front of that thigh. Good. From there, we can come back to neutral on our back. What do we feel when we compare both thighs? I hope you feel a difference. If you don't, what I might recommend is maybe you need to hold it a little longer for more breaths. In this style of yoga, usually time is measured in breaths. So if you took 3 breaths in that time and you're like, yeah, I don't really feel anything, then maybe you need to take 5, 6 or more breaths, okay? The nature of this kind of class, I can't hold everything forever for everybody. So we might move on a little bit before you're ready. That's okay, you can catch up when you have a chance. But notice which poses maybe you need a little more time in, okay? Okay, let's inhale the right leg up. We drop it to the left and prop our head up. Take that bottom leg back. And again, we are stretching the front of the hip and the thigh. And we'll take a few deep breaths here. Good, let's release and come back to neutral for a moment. You might feel like it's a waste of time when we pause like that to try and notice the difference, but hardly. These are what we might call awareness-based practices, at least traditionally they are. And as yoga gets more westernized and speeds up, I think we're losing some of the value that is traditionally inherent in the yoga practice. So again, noticing something is very often the beginning of a new chapter for us. When we notice something about what's going on, we can't always change it or fix it, but taking that time to just notice, pausing for a moment, very valuable habit to get into. Again, a mindfulness habit. So most of us, again, are so outcome oriented. We're so future oriented. Well, what's next? Why are we still here? I'm bored. I don't feel comfortable. So again, slowing it down, beginning to notice what's going on. Why am I not comfortable? You know, what's going on internally. Okay, let's bring those legs in. Give them a little squeeze, and we'll rock and roll up to a seat. Come into the tabletop position, and we'll do a few rounds of cat-cow here. So the cat-cow can take on slightly more significance in today's class because we are, again, focused on back bending. In this position, what we call the cow position is a mild back bend. So just take a moment to, notice if there's pain there as you move through that range of motion, how you might try mitigating or avoiding that pain during the class, because sometimes just subtle adjustments can make a difference. Okay, another area that we need to open up, there are 3 areas for back bends: the front of the hips and thighs, the back itself, the spine, if you will, and then the shoulders, the front of the shoulders. So let's target the shoulders here with what we call the puppy stretch. So it's related to down dog. We're going to keep our knees on the ground, but as we exhale, just walk those hands forward. Maybe you can get your chin to the mat, the forehead or forehead or chin. Either one of those are fine. We want to keep the arms straight as we draw our chest down and back And again, we should feel this in the shoulders primarily. Good with our inhale. Let's come back to the tabletop and tuck our toes as we exhale to a down dog. So in down dog, we can focus on the feet and the lower part of the leg. Again, this is the area that modern shoes and modern paved roads tend to create a lot of weakness in this area. So when we do today's class and we balance, we'll be strengthening those areas, but for most people, it's not enough to do that once a week. It's not going to make as much impact as we'd like. So again, checking out our shoes, checking out our habits, lifestyle, that's going to have a larger impact. And then we'll see it show up in our yoga practice as our balance improves. Okay, let's come into our full downward facing dog here. And with our exhale, just walk our feet to the hands, coming into the ragdoll. So I always find this a good check for the back. As some of you know, I'm healing from a back injury that I had several years ago. And just to be clear, it is getting better. So I mention it because I'm trying to share my journey and trying to inspire and educate you about how you might make the same journey. I'm pretty confident that one day I'll be completely pain-free in my back again, but just not there yet. So this is a great thing to check. How's my back feeling? And it's a bit sensitive, but less sensitive than it is has been in the past. So not feeling super weak or vulnerable. I feel pretty good overall. So let's relax those arms and we'll inhale and come on up to standing. And we come into just what I call a relaxed mountain pose. So mountain pose was the arms up, but we're just going to keep our arms down. And feet can touch or be hip distance in preparation for Surya Namaskar, sun salutations. So inhale, now we'll bring the arms up. And we're not doing mountain pose, we're actually doing standing back bend. So this is our first active back bend here. Again, look at the arms, right? Remember puppy stretch? So the arms coming up and back, this is a part of stretching the front of the body. Now this is our first active back bend, so let's not overdo it. As usual, imagine going up and over a beach ball. And so you're stretching from the pubic bone through the chin, breathing here. With our inhale, let's come back through the neutral position, and then we'll exhale into a forward fold. See if you can get those palms flat, bend the knees if you need to, and really fold in. So really bring your forehead toward your shins or knees. The next inhale will come to fingertips or take hands to shins, so we lengthen out the spine. And as we exhale, we plant those hands. We'll step the right and then the left to the top of a push-up. As usual, we want to align ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels, more or less in one straight line. We'll take a deep breath. Let's drop those knees and exhale halfway down and take another breath. Now exhale, we'll come all the way down and then bringing the feet together, pressing them into the mat gently. Inhale, lift your hands, head, neck, and chest. So I mentioned at the beginning of class, strengthening rather than stretching. This is a great way to strengthen. And a great way to know whether you should strengthen or not, or whether you need it or not, is how do you feel here? If you are starting to hyperventilate, you feel like you're losing it, you're, how much longer is he going to do this kind of thing, then that's probably a good indication that your body is pretty weak in this area. This is called your posterior chain. So again, I'm not telling you that to make you feel bad or guilty or shame you. I'm telling you that because it's a diagnostic. You can now take that information and start to integrate more back bends like this one. This is a strengthening back bend. Integrate that into your daily routine to help counteract the weakness that's there. Exhale, let's come down. Inhale to tabletop and exhale to down dog. So, the thing about modern life is it tends to create weakness everywhere. So, if you're new to this, or even if you're not, even if you've been doing it for a while, you might find there are lots of areas that you find weakness. And again, what I would encourage you to do is when you find that, try and address it. Try and do something about it. Because strength is important for overall health. That is not my personal opinion. That's what modern science tells us. So letting ourselves get really weak and thinking that we're somehow going to have vibrant health is a little bit of a fantasy. It doesn't align with what the science tells us. Okay, from here we inhale to the toes, we exhale, step, jump, float, front edge of the mat. Let's inhale, pay attention to that back bend because again, this is sort of the focus of our class today. And then we'll add a side stretch. So we grab the right wrist, we send our hips to the right as we pull the arm to the left. Let's inhale back to center and exhale the other side. Very much the same principle as back bending, but just for the side of the body. We'll inhale back to center and then exhale to a forward fold. Let's inhale to half lift, and as we exhale, left foot and then right to the top of the push-up. As usual, it's up to you to decide what's appropriate for you. Do you need to drop your knees or can you keep your knees up? Let's take a deep breath, exhale halfway and take another breath. And then exhale all the way down. This time, so the feet and legs are the same, right? Because this is another cobra. So the feet and legs are the same. We're pressing them into the mat. But this time we use the arms to try and stress the spine more. But the key to doing this is not lifting your hips. Okay, this looks like a deeper back bend, but in a sense it's an illusion. Okay, because I'm not really using my back anymore. I'm lifting my hips up. So be aware of the pubic bone and the front of the hips and keep those firmly planted, but push yourself back as much as you can. Okay, and that will give you the maximum spinal hyperextension. It's called hyperextension. So as I mentioned earlier, this isn't so much about strengthening your back. This is more about working your flexibility, working your joints. Exhale, come down. Inhale, top of the push-up, and exhale to down dog. So those two cobras, those were both cobras, those two back bends on our belly, they have different purposes. They have different things that they can bring us in terms of our practice and what we're strengthening, what we're healing, what we're working, okay? Okay, from here, we inhale to the toes, exhale, front edge of the mat. Inhale, standing back bend. So again, let's focus on those back bends today. Maybe we go a little further. And then exhale, stretch the right side. Inhale, center. And exhale, stretch the left side. Inhale, center, and exhale as you sit into an imaginary seat for chair pose. So remember those puppy stretch arms. Let's keep those going. So up and back, but then the hips are, the knees are over the heels, the hips are down. And try and relax your face and slow your breath down. So it's meant to be an intense experience. And what it gives us an opportunity to do is to learn to regulate the nervous system through awareness and breath control in a stressful situation, because we are going to experience stress. If you're alive, you will experience stress. It's just part of the package. So the question isn't, how do I get rid of the stress in my life? The question is, how do I manage stress? And that's what we're learning here. How do we learn to manage stress? We actually stress ourselves in a controlled environment. That's one way of thinking of what we're doing in this class. Okay, I'm intentionally stressing myself in a controlled, safe environment so that I can learn to deal with that stress. Okay? All right, let's inhale. We come all the way up and back. And exhale, forward fold. We inhale to the half lift, and exhale, if you can, right to the bottom of a push-up. Let's inhale for an up dog here. And then if you're able to, exhale back to down dog. So as you see, up dog, the knees and hips and thighs are off the ground, okay? So again, not really necessarily any deeper than that cobra that we did in terms of spine. In fact, I feel the cobra more in terms of stressing my spine. All right, beautiful work, everybody. Let's bring those feet to touch. We'll inhale the right leg up and back. Whoops, just kicked my gong there. And then as we exhale, we'll bring that foot between the hands and we'll inhale to a crescent lunge, Ashta Chandrasana. I'm just going to turn so I can continue facing the mat here. Okay, so as usual, we want the front-footed knee straight ahead, the knee over the heel. The thigh approaches parallel. The left leg is straight and that heel is pressing toward the ground, okay? I really hope none of you at home are doing this. I see it in class all the time. It's like ballet feet. It's not ballet. The heels are toward the ground there. Okay, we're stretching that muscle. We're not trying to strengthen it in this particular posture. Left hip forward, right hip back, and then again, upper body is in a back bend. So look up, find that openness in the chest and the belly. Breathe. And then let's add some flow. So we exhale, just bend those arms, and then inhale up to stupa, which is our transition. Exhale, crescent lunge at the back. Good. Continue. Inhale up and exhale, crescent at the front. Good. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, crescent at the back. And then this time, inhale up. And we did this last week. Exhale, goddess. Okay. So we come into our goddess. Again, toes and knees pointing in the same direction. Knees over the heels. Arms are mirroring the legs there. And again, this is a little bit of stretch, but a lot of strength, a lot of power. So Utkatta Konasana is a Sanskrit fierce angle. In English, we call it goddess. Either way, you're looking at a powerful posture, right? A powerful, hey, I can take it kind of posture. So again, one of the things that I find is lost in modern teaching is the psychological aspect, right? I see students and they do this after I hold it for a few seconds. Okay, this isn't a powerful stance. This isn't, hey, I'm strong and powerful and fierce. You know, this is kind of like I'm impatient, I'm waiting, you know, whatever it is. So again, can I elicit? I might feel like doing this, but when I avoid actually doing that, then I am strengthening a psychological part of myself. And I'm using my physical experience to do that, okay? So very important to keep that in mind. All right, let's inhale up to stupa, and we exhale, cartwheel down, bottom of the push-up. And again, I can't see what you all are doing over there. You might all be doing it perfectly, which is great, but I just need to reinforce these things based on what I'm seeing in the classes that I'm teaching. So it's very common for people to do that. Okay, let's continue on. So side 2, feet touch. We inhale left leg. I'll try and avoid the gong this time. Exhale, lunge, and we'll inhale to crescent lunge on the other side. So just take a moment, see if you can refine the alignment of the posture. You might tweak things a little bit, just really try and imprint that in your muscle memory. And then let's inhale up, stupa, and exhale, crescent lunge at the back. Inhale, and then again at the front, and then one more time at the back. And then inhale up and exhale again to goddess, fierce angle pose. Good. Inhale. Deep breath in. Come on up. Exhale. Cartwheel down. Bottom of the push-up. Okay. Excellent. Let's exhale to a tabletop and we'll look at our first version of the tiger. This is the simplest version. So inhale. Lift your right foot up and point your toes toward your crown of your head. Lift the crown of the head toward the toes. Now, some people who have really long, this is called your tibia, they have long tibias, a flexible spine, and a short torso, they can actually touch the foot to the crown of their head, okay? So it's a combination, again, of several things. They have a flexible spine, but they also have a long lower leg and a short torso, okay? If you have a long torso, a short tibia, and maybe not the most flexible back, it's not going to happen. And it doesn't mean you're a lesser person or lesser yogi, okay? Let's exhale, we'll put that leg down. And other side. So again, it's this action of as though I could put the crown of my head into the sole of my foot. I personally will never be able to do that, okay, as far as I can tell. I've been doing this stuff a long time, and we can only change the body so much from its kind of initial way that it is. So I just don't think it's in the cards for me. It's not in the cards for many people. And again, that doesn't stop me from imagining that that's what I'm trying to do, because that's the best way to do the tiger pose, okay? All right, exhale, let's bring it down. And then from there, you can vinyasa or you can go straight back to your downward dog. Okay, from down dog, inhale toes and exhale front edge of the mat. So inhale to standing back bend up and back, and exhale forward fold. We inhale to half lift and exhale to the bottom of the push-up. As I often do, I will skip that because I'm already a little bit winded and fairly hot. So teaching is a little different than actually practicing yoga. Okay, so let's continue on now. Feet touch. We inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. And let's inhale to our crescent lunge. Exhale, bend the arms. Inhale, come on up. And then exhale, back of the mat. Oh, sorry, exhale, goddess. Sorry, I skipped goddess. Inhale, back up, and then exhale, back of the mat. So let's repeat that. We inhale back up, stupa. Exhale to goddess. And then we inhale back up and exhale to crescent at the front. Now, this time we're going to add a posture called the bird pose, Dvijasana. So inhale, arms up. Exhale them out like wings. This is our first balance pose, right? And then from here, we come off the back leg. Notice my foot. So I'm not pointing my foot. I have the foot flexed, so it's different than tiger. Okay? but I am pulling my heel toward my buttocks, and I'm bringing the crown of the head back and up. So I'm trying to get my face, neck, and chest facing the front wall, and my hips and belly facing the ground. And maybe my left thigh is facing the back wall. Okay, that's kind of the intention there. Good, take a deep breath, exhale, bottom of your push-up, making your way back to down dog. So again, you're strengthening those muscles in the back there with that bird pose. You're also strengthening the lower part of your leg, okay? Good, let's do the other side. Feet touch, inhale left, exhale lunge, and inhale to crescent. Exhale, bend the arms. Inhale up, stupa. Exhale, goddess. Inhale up. Exhale, crescent. Good, let's repeat that. Inhale and goddess. Inhale and crescent at the front. Now, inhale the arms up. Exhale, grow some wings. And with your next inhale, take flight in bird pose. Good, take a deep breath, exhale, bottom of your push-up, make your way to downward facing dog. Okay, exhale, let's come on down. And then now let's see if we can do the one-handed tiger pose. So we lift the right leg, and then this time we extend the left arm out in front. You might call this stage 1. Okay, stage 2 is reaching back and grabbing the foot, and now that I have it, I can kick up and back. I hope you can see it's a much deeper back bend now because I'm using the strength of my leg. Legs are very strong, very powerful. So again, I'm not really strengthening my back here. I'm strengthening my thigh, but I am working my flexibility, my spinal flexibility here. Good, exhale, let's release that first side. And then again, side 2, first step is try this, and this might be where you stay, you know, if what I'm teaching you hurts. Otherwise, you reach back, grab that foot, and then again, the foot goes up, the head goes up. Good, exhale, release that side, and then make your way back to downward dog. From our down dog, let's inhale to the toes. We exhale, front edge of the mat. Inhale, standing back bend, up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, crow or handstand, and exhale, bottom of the push-up. Okay, let's do one more round of standing postures, and then we'll go to the floor and hopefully get into some deep back bend work. So feet touch. Inhale, right. Exhale, lunge. Inhale to crescent lunge. Exhale, bend the arms. Inhale to stupa. Exhale to goddess. Inhale up, and then exhale, crescent. And then inhale the arms up, and exhale to bird. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms up as you step into crescent, and then exhale, bend the arms. Inhale to stupa, and exhale to goddess. let's repeat that at the front here. So inhale up and exhale crescent lunge. And then inhale the arms up. Exhale, grow your wings. And then inhale to bird. Hold your bird pose. Okay? Now, what you'd like to do is take your right hand, reach back, grab your left foot, sweep your right arm forward, and kick that right leg up and back. So now you're doing a balancing or standing tiger. Good. Inhale, come on up, and exhale, release. Just a note, sometimes when I teach this in person, people end up doing this pose, which is dancer. Okay, the difference is which hand is holding the foot. Okay, tiger is the opposite. It's a diagonal, okay, across the body. So again, mindfulness, awareness, paying attention, having body awareness. These are all things that yoga can teach us. Again, I'm not trying to embarrass you if you did that. I am trying to get you to pay attention, make sure you're doing what we're intending to do, okay? All right, so make your way back to down dog, and let's do the other side. So feet touch, we inhale left, exhale lunge, and inhale to crescent. Exhale, bend the arms, inhale stupa. Exhale, goddess. Inhale back up, and exhale crescent at the back. Good, inhale the arms, and then exhale to bird. Inhale to crescent, and exhale, bend the arms. Inhale, stupa, exhale, goddess. Inhale back up, exhale, crescent. Now at the front, okay? Inhale the arms up, exhale, grow your wings, and come off the back leg, bird. Okay, from bird, it's very easy to transition to tiger. So sweep your right hand forward, reach your left hand back, and then again, once you have the foot, you're kicking up and back. All right, let's release. Now, another note here, if you are struggling with balance, again, I don't recommend you take that lightly. I do recommend you start to take steps to correct that. That is not healthy. It is not okay. It's not how you want to go forward for the rest of your life, because it will probably only get worse. So again, the shoes are one thing. Another thing is your inner ear. Doing things, exercises, and I can again show you these things that you do to improve your inner ear. Of course, what we just did helps some too, but how often are you doing that? Is it daily? Is it once a week, twice a week? Again, you may need to do more to correct what is already, sort of an unhealthy state, okay? All right, let's go ahead and come down, and we'll just come to rest on the belly and take a few breaths there. And I'd like us to explore 3 back bends here. And they're related to what we just did. So what we were doing was, in tiger, we were holding the foot and then kicking back. So very similar to what are called bow poses in yoga. So come on to our belly, if you're not already. And again, key, please don't hurt your knees or ankles doing any of these things. So make sure that what I'm asking you to do is safe. Otherwise, you can just lift everything up here like this. That should be okay, because it doesn't put any stress on your knees or your shoulders or your ankles, okay? So if you can't do this next one, that's what I recommend. Otherwise, we'll bend both knees, grab the feet. Now, the feet can flex or point. I'll leave that up to you. And then, again, inhale, kicking up and back, and that's called the floor bow. Good. Exhale, come on down. Back bends can be quite emotional. One thing I've noticed, and I believe the science now is behind this idea, is physiologically in your body, excitement and anxiety are pretty much the same thing. So, you know, we got on a roller coaster because we're in control, we call it excitement. But, you know, if we're walking the street and someone almost hits us with their car, we call that, you know, anxiety or, you know, panic. So it's interesting, the back bends, they elicit that same response. So some people experience back bends as, oh, it's exciting, invigorating. Other people experience it as, oh, I feel anxious. So again, I'm just trying to draw awareness to this. Okay, let's do a little counter stretch there. So just bring your arms out to sides, bend your knees, and feet side to side. Do as many as you like, and then press back into what's called Vajrasana, which is this position. Now, if this hurts your knees or ankles, again, reach out to me. Let's learn how to modify that so that it's not a problem for you. Okay, depending on what's going on, there are different ways to modify it. But hopefully this is safe for you. It's relatively comfortable. Again, this is Thunderbolt or Vajrasana. Now, from this position, we're going to move into a related posture, which is the camel. So I teach this one a lot. It's a good kind of middle ground for back bends. Knees and feet hip distance. You can tuck those heels if you like. Hands to low back, elbows in. And then we're pressing those hips forward. We're lifting the heart. And then you have the option to drop your chin back and to grab your heels, but you need to be mindful of how that affects your neck and your back. Good. Let's inhale, we come back up, and we exhale back. Again, one way of thinking about practices are as diagnostic tools. Do you feel anxious doing that? Do you get emotional? That usually is the sign of some sort of imbalance, and an imbalance that we can fix. Okay, so that's not a personality trait. That's not, we should feel good doing that. Okay, and if we don't, then that is a good indication that maybe we need to address something. Okay, and in general, that's how the practice is. We shouldn't really be like suffering through any of these things. They should all feel pretty good overall. Okay, let's come up into tabletop. We drop our hips side to side a few times. Just release that last back bend. And then we'll cross those ankles and bring our legs out in front of us. So this is potentially our deepest back bend, this next one, but it doesn't have to be, and I'll show you how we can do that. Let's get back onto our back. And the first pose we'll do, the milder option, is going to be the bridge. So we have our feet very close to our hips, about hip distance, and then we lift our hips up. Interlace those fingers and we'll shrug those shoulders underneath. Okay, so we're here like this, and please note my heels are under my knees. Okay, so sometimes I see people in person, they're doing it like that. That's not really what we want. Okay. All right, and then if you feel warmed up, if you're feeling strong and good, Then you can take it to the next step, bringing your hands alongside your head, pressing into the hands and the feet for wheel pose, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Good. Let's come down with an exhale. Drop the knees in against one another. Take a deep breath in, exhale with a sigh. And then again, let's do a little counter stretch here. So just dropping those knees side to side gently. Do as many as you like. When you're done, just bring the feet together, let the knees drop apart. Okay, from there, let's draw our legs in and we'll squeeze. And then extending the arms out like the letter T, we'll drop those knees to the left as we look to the right. Good, inhale, knees through center. Let's take them off to the other side, just letting the breath be natural at this stage. Good. Let's inhale those knees back to center and let's do some happy baby here. So just giving things a good stretch. Rolling around on your back. And again, what you want to do here is be mindful and try and use the movement intentionally to unwind tension and to create a sense of balance in your body. And then once you've done that, you can come into the corpse posture whenever you're ready. And in the yin class, because we rest between postures, for me at this stage, the shavasana at the end is optional. Okay, if you feel relaxed and you want to relax for a few minutes, go right ahead. There's no harm in it. In this class, though, I really don't feel that it should be optional. I really encourage you to take the time to rest, and that gives your body a little bit of time to integrate what we just did, and so that you have the rest of your day ahead of you, right? None of you are going to sleep at 1:30 in the afternoon. So this can really help you with the rest of your day, just giving yourself 5 minutes, 6 minutes of rest before you continue with the rest of your day, okay?